You know, when you're watching a TV show, like a news show, and they bring on an expert to speak on a specific topic. Well, what if the expert that was being used was literally just a Reform Party campaigner with a website? Well, let me talk to you about Robert. Robert Bates is supposedly the research director at a think tank called the Center for Migration Control. The Center for Migration Control regularly publish research reports where they talk about how basically everyone who's foreign is awful. And unsurprisingly, whenever these reports are published, GB News, Talk TV, The Telegraph, The Express all pick up on it, and they always cite Robert as an expert, as the research director. It's very proper. And last night I went on a bit of a tear trying to figure out more about the Center for Migration Control, and alongside finding out that it's actually just a trading name for a private company called Athelney Campaigns, which has a racist background. Seeing that the company only has one director and it's just this guy called Robert, it's only been around for a year and a little bit, and I couldn't find anything about anybody else working at this think tank, which I think is basically just Robert's brain. It got me thinking that maybe I could do the same thing, and then I can publish research on a website that doesn't actually work, so when you click onto the report, it just puts you back on the homepage. I thought maybe I could do that as well. Which is why I am now very pleased to announce that I am in fact the research director at the Centre for Control of the Centre for Migration Control. More about that in the video that I'll link below. Myself, Lewis, Aaron, and a few other creators got to work trying to figure out a little bit more about Robert. How did he become such an important think tank leader? And aside from a few appearances on Russia Today back when he was 23 years old, do something cooler with your life, man. We were kind of hitting a wall. We couldn't really figure out much else about him until one of my wonderful followers pointed out that he is also, aside from owning that company, he's appeared in undercover footage as a senior Reform UK campaigner on the campaign trail for Nigel Farage. You know, Nigel Farage, the guy who's a shareholder in GB News, the channel that invites him on as an expert at a think tank. Robert only appears in this video for like 1 minute, but in that time frame, he manages to make a joke that the Reform Party spent more than the campaign limit, double the campaign limit just on Nigel's campaign. And then he just quietly laughs whilst this guy talks about how we should be unaliving gay people and Muslims. This is what I mean when I say, in some cases, the media isn't just biased, it's actively making up misinformation. These numbers aren't just being interpreted a certain way, they are actively misinforming you. Lewis Aaron will be doing a video on that shortly. That guy doesn't run a think tank or an organization. He's just a Reform Party campaigner who set up a website and put a Substack on it and a PayPal, and is now being used as a source, an expert source, to drive more of these hateful, violent, horrible conversations. It's just so funny because whenever people talk about Russian interference in UK media, it's never really mentioned that so many of these commentators, these experts, have like only appeared on Russia Today, GB News, Talk TV. That's it. What's the correlation there? It's crazy. Anyway, if you've got a family member or a colleague who sends you information from these publications, these sorts of sites, feel free to send them this video, because it's not just that they're manipulating information or framing it differently. They're literally just making shit up between themselves and perpetuating it, knowing that people are going to absorb it. So that's fun. Thanks, Robert.